All right, welcome back. This is still Y in the morning. If you're just joining us for the first time, don't worry, you are on time for the first conversation of that day, and it'll be an interesting one, especially following that this month we celebrated International Women's Day, and we want to look about because this is a segment of politics, so we want to look at women in politics, as particularly young women in politics. How is it for them? How do you become one? You know, how do you get yourself involved? It doesn't really have to be you out there vying, but how do you get into politics if you want to be in one? So for this particular discussion, I'm being joined by Florence Onyango. She is a youth and women's rights advocate and founder of Gallant Boy Africa, that is GGB Africa. Karibu sana, Florence.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Yes.
Glad to have you.
Yes.
So tell us about what you do as Florence and the political scene, and being the founder of BBV.
Well, I'll go with my name. My name is Florence Ayo Onyango. I proudly call myself a youth and women rights advocate. And thus, I founded Girl and Boy Africa, GGB Africa, an initiative that empowers young people, an initiative that is outside there that has mandated itself to promoting gender equality on all matters of life. And professionally, I run a communication agency known as Viral PR, and marketing agency that does influencer marketing and digital marketing. And also, I'm actively involved in leadership in politics at a youth level and at a young woman level. So, yeah,
Wow.
that's pretty much about me.
Interesting. You
Yeah.
have a lot going on, which is quite remarkable.
Thank you so much.
Thinking, you know, you are in your 20s, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So that's quite interesting. Now, how did you get into politics? And you've said you're operating at some level.
Yes, I'm operating at a
The-
youth level, at a young woman level. You know what I mean? Yeah, when I say that. So is your question complete?
What exactly? No.
Right.
What exactly are you doing in that level that you're in?
Okay. First, I'll call it. I'm somebody who is very passionate about leadership. Yes, I love to be on the forefront, influencing change, influencing change where there are issues, coming up with new ideas, fresh ideas where there are challenges. And that's what prompted me into leadership. I knew for me to influence ideas or be in that position where I can make decisions, then I have to be really interested in leadership, and not just leadership, but political leadership, because that is where most of the governance decisions are being made.
Yeah.
So I started that because in my primary level, I started my leadership at that level. So I went to campus, high school. I tried buying in high school. I failed, but I was the ballot.
At least you made it. In
Yes,
the
yes,
ballot.
yes, yes. In campus, I was also actively involved in politics, and now here I'm out, and I am actively involved in politics as well, at that level. Yeah, at a youth level.
At a youth level.
Exactly.
So, at a youth level, I'm still trying to get it.
Yes.
So you are doing a lot of help in terms of leadership. Is it linked to what you're doing in your organization, or is it how exactly are you leading the youth in politics, in the political side?
Yes, so it is directly linked to my organization because you see in my initiative, what we do is leadership training as well. So we have like weekly incubation programs that we get to train young people who are interested in leadership on different skills that are related to leadership. And also we how do you call it? We are starting a program that is going to help these young people learn about, it's called a political leadership program. So it's mostly about political education to young people, because you understand how the world, or rather Kenya, is now revolving, or rather evolving in regards to politics. So I'm involved at that level, you understand? And also when it comes to just active participation of people, of young people in politics, I'm involved at social media level, I'm involved at different initiatives. It might not be on the forefront level because I don't have any position right now in any political party politically, but at the background, helping to spearhead some of the initiatives that are in these political parties. So I actively participate in forums where the youth voice need to be heard, and where policies need to be made, where fresh ideas need to be fronted. That is where I come in. So that is how I'm in the political scene as a youth and as a young woman.
Okay.
I don't know, is it clear?
Now, very clear now.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that is great. So you were teaching about leadership, and now you want to teach about politics.
Yeah, it's political education.
Political education. I think politics is broad, yeah?
Exactly.
So, and now you're also involved in some initiatives that need the voices of the young people.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
How has it been, before I get to the details, how has it been as a young leader, as a young woman in politics then?
Well, it is always a new experience. Every day, every day, yeah. So as young women in politics, there are a lot of things that you get to experience every day. We keep on learning because we have not really experienced it at our a deep level, the kind of experiences, let me say, our elder sisters, or rather the trailblazers, have experienced. But we are there learning, we are there watching, we are there looking for, up to them. And at this moment, most of the young people, young women in leadership, we are trying to look at the gaps and how we are going to go through those gaps to reach to the dreams, or rather reach to the leadership position that we want to be in, in governance. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are some of the troubles that you see, if you've not experienced them yourself, that you see other women leaders, especially particularly in politics, going through?
Yeah, I think I will, if you're keen, I'm pretty much sure when we get to politics as young women, we are going to experience them. So it's just that we have not experienced them yet, or rather we have experienced them at a certain level. So one of the things that we see most of the young political, young women in politics go through, or rather let me say all women in politics go through, whether young or elderly or experienced, it's something that is there and deeply rooted. First is, in Kenya, we come from a society that is very patriarchal. So we get there very cultural, there are so many cultural stereotypes that see women as not leaders, but people who should just wait, serve as flower girls, as people who decisions are being made for, you understand? So them it's just say yes, and things keep on moving. And another thing is there's a lot of harassment, there's a lot of political violence.
Yeah, that's true.
And you, as a young woman, you can be harassed just because of how tiny you look. You know, so I'm looking at myself and I'm very tiny. Like sometimes you're very tiny. You don't even have a big body to push your way through some doors. So there's a lot of political harassment and political violence that goes on in the political scene. We have also scrutiny of your personal life. As a young woman, once you voice out yourself, or rather you put yourself in the map that I want to vie for this position, people often go to your social media. People dig deep into your personal life and see what was she doing.
What are you doing 20 years ago?
20 years ago. And they don't know that as a young person, you know, every human, we evolve, So maybe the person who I was some years ago is not the person that will be some years to come.
Yeah.
So that is one of the things that is very, if you compare to our male counterparts, it does not happen really so much.
Same.
And then also about, as a young woman in politics, they need you to get married. like when they tend to look at married women differently to women who are single getting into politics. I don't know how that really works because I've never understood that.
Yeah, because why should it be different between
Exactly,
a married
exactly.
woman and a single
So
woman?
it narrowed down. When you talk about cultural norms and cultural issues, there are really a lot that you can narrow down to it. But those are some of the main challenges that women in politics go through. And also financial muscle. We don't have, compared to our male counterparts, we really shy out to go for these political seats because sometimes you don't have the money to go, because campaigns in Africa, in Kenya, is very expensive. Yeah, so sometimes you don't have the financial muscle, you don't have the financial capability to do your campaigns, influence who wants to be influenced, all that kind of stuff. So sometimes we just back off and like, oh no, I don't have the money, so I will not get involved. So those are some of the challenges that young women go through or face in the political scene.
Okay, and I believe that these are challenges that need to be addressed, should have been even addressed by now, but it's still recurring, it's still there. The other day, last week, I was discussing with another lady
Yes.
in the film industry, and she did a documentary for the current governor now of I think Embu County,
Okay.
the current governor of Embu County, and they did documentaries for most of the women governors that are there before they came to power, and they were just showing their journey to power, you know, because some people just think it's just instantaneous. They don't know what went behind them getting to
behind
where
the scenes, what happens.
Before they get to where they are. And I think it's important for people to know the stories of these women so that they don't just judge them, because there are some stereotypes that people have that, you know, you had to sleep with someone for you to get this seat, you had to lose something for you to get this seat. But it's actually people, you know, we see you as you now, you know, you're here, you're a leader already, so when we see you as a governor at some point in time, we know that there's a journey that you actually went through. So I think people need to know these stories.
Yes.
For you, personally, do you have any political aspirations in terms of getting a political seat at some point in time?
Yes, I do have political aspirations, but this is just not the right time for me to unleash that. Yeah, maybe we can organize another session in the near future, so that we can talk about it more. But I believe that as young women, it's time for us to step forward. It's time for us to make the decisions that involve us. It is time for whether youth, because I fall in the bracket of youth and also young woman. So I feel like if we do not step in right now to make those decisions, in the next few years, they're going to affect us. And now they're going to affect us at a point where we cannot do anything about them. So we have to step in now, take those leadership positions, and lead and bring in the new, fresh ideas that, you know, we want. Exactly.
How do you advise? Would you advise that we as women should step in to these positions? It's hard to see a youth woman even vying for an MCA position, you know, because they don't even believe. You know, you've talked about so many things that are hindrances or limitations, the money, the cultural beliefs around it, and everything. But how do we step into these positions?
First, I come from a circle of women who are doing various things in their communities. And as a woman, our influence comes from the communities, community-based first. Of course, those with families started from the family level, and then they go to community, and now, they want to now get into a space where they can make, huge decisions. So I think it is not easy. It is not easy to get into leadership as a young woman, but at least you can start from a point of course, there's something that you're influencing in your constituency, in your ward, you know. So when you started from there, there's maybe a challenge that you've identified. And as leaders, that is what we do. You identify a challenge and come up with best ideas on how you're going to make the lives of the people that you are going to man, or people around you, you know, better. So and that is how we identify even leaders around our communities. We see what exactly have you done You know, you want to say you want to be a leader. You say you want to be given, you know, to be nominated. You say you want to be on those decision-making tables. But at an individual level, what exactly, what kind of initiatives have you done that we can see that there's a leadership quality in you? That when we entrust you with a bigger position, you're going to bring more initiatives and, you know, influence in a very good way. So we are going to, with, as young women, most like I keep referring to my circle. That is where we are starting in, and then we now get into political leadership, where we know what we do. Everything that we do, it's around policy, it's around politics. Actually, influences everything. You understand? So we get into political parties. So getting into political parties, you definitely have to start at an entry level, you know.
Yeah.
So it depends with how maybe how smart you are in terms of coming up with creative ideas to propel certain issues within the party that later transpires through the community. You understand? So of course we get into the entry level and we see it depends how you're going to carry out yourself, how you're going to maneuver through with your leadership qualities to get to a certain position that now even the party can entrust you to some leadership positions, you know, and that is how you start your journey. That is how we get into it. Yeah, because it's yeah.
I think that's profound. So it's just starting where you are. You know, it's as simple as starting where you are. Through identifying the problem that your community is facing, using what you have, you know.
Yeah, because why are we getting into leadership positions? Because even
to make a change.
To make a change where? In our communities. You know, we want to live a life. We want okay, I normally refer to Africa because my initiative is Africa based. We want a good Africa for ourselves, because we are not going anywhere. Things, if you look at the politics in the world, things are changing. Everybody is closing their borders. Look at Germany, you know, look at all these other countries that young people are trying to run to.
Even now, US,
we are not going anywhere. They're like, Africans, you're not coming here. So if us as the young people, we are going to have families in the next few years, we're not going anywhere. These families, we're going to get married here, we're going to live here. And if we don't create that heaven that we're looking somewhere else, it will be terrible for us. So that's why we are saying we need to drop in right now, start this leadership journey now, and use all those creative ideas, use those fresh ideas that we want to create. You know, those innovation, you know, technology right now is everything. And in Africa, we have resources. We have a lot of things that can make our country, you know, propel. You understand? Yeah. So we are getting into power. We are getting into this political space so that we create a better Kenya for us. We create a better future for us.
For us, again.
And the future is now. It's not like...
it's not tomorrow.
It's not
We've been told for the longest time.
Yeah, the future is actually
leaders.
right now.
It's actually now. And there's something else about women in leadership and, of course, in politics. You know, a lot of women, when you see them in leadership, in politics, that it's usually propelling gender-related topics, you know. But is this the case? And can women also push for national policies? Can they be identified with national policies and not just things that are gender-related?
Yeah, that is true, but I don't blame them, because if you look at we have been pushing for the 2/3 gender rule for a very long time. And if you check statistically, I was going through, was it a documentary? There's a documentary I was going through, and it was saying that for gender parity to be achieved in the parliament, that is just a general overview of the African parliament, it will be by the time a child who has been born now turns 40.
Wow.
You understand? We're going to have the 50-50 rule. And for these women, because women, when they are elected to the National Assembly, or when they are elected, let me just look at the National Assembly. Women, let's say the women position, they're mandated to cater for they're mandated to cater for the youth, for the marginalized groups, and for women. So that is their role. So first of all, as a woman representative in the house, you have to, of course, prioritize gender equality. Yeah, you want more women to come in. Because like we have how many elected women, we have how many elected MPs do we have in the house right now? They're around 23.
Yeah, we've not achieved that.
Yeah, we have 23. And if you look at the county level, you know, that was also formed at least to help enhance the representation of women in leadership. Of course, even if it is at the grassroots level, it would still count. It's a very small percentage. Like nominated, if you look at the nominated women and those who have been elected, it's still there's a very big gap yet. There are a lot of things that still need to be achieved. We have 3 senators who are women. Only. We have only 7. And you know, even the 7, you see how much they were celebrated. The 7 governors who from, it was actually from 2017 we had 3, and now we have 7. And in 2017 we had 3 female senators, and now there are 3 again. You know, and it is just sad.
It's sad.
So me, I don't fault them when they are elected and now they are on the forefront fighting for gender equality and all that kind of stuff, because we really
it's still not there yet.
It is what they've been voted in to do. Yeah. So that is, I think, the first thing that is on their mandate list. And then after that, now they can come up with other issues. But because they're what they can do, like women rep, we have the NGAF. It's just empowering women, empowering youth, empowering you know, the marginalized group with you know, something like that.
Absolutely. And just to add on the numbers that you've given, you only have 4 committee women leaders.
Exactly.
That's 290 MPs.
You see how sad that is.
It is. Exactly. It is sad. Yeah. So it's understandable that that's where we are seeing women, you know, in the gender-related and youth-related policies. But now, again, there's also the perception that comes from the public. In as much as a woman, I would want to vie for an MCA position. You have seen me do a project, I've run an initiative that people have benefited from. People still have the perception that women are not supposed to lead. You know, we've had Martha Karua, one of Kenya's best,
powerful.
one of Kenya's best women leaders, most powerful. She's been in politics for the longest time. In the last elections, she almost ran for presidency. You know, but it's really hard to see a woman president in Kenya. When are we really going to see a woman president in Kenya if the perceptions still remain the same?
You know, I'm looking at 2022 general elections, and everyone was waiting on the manifesto of Raila Odinga and William Ruto. And I remember William Ruto said that he was going to have a 50-50 cabinet.
Sure.
You understand?
Yeah.
And people liked it. And Raila Odinga, on the other side, he decided to have Martha Karua as the running mate. And it was amazing. We have women who voted Raila Odinga because of that. Yes. True. So I'm looking at these leaders. I'm looking at these, the likes of Martha Karua. I'm looking at all these trailblazers in the world of women leadership. And for me, they're just pace setters. You know, they have carried us towards a certain step. And we as young women right now, we are in a better position. It might be tough, but compared to the fights they went through, we are now the ones to step forward, pick it from where they've left. You understand? So we're looking at these women and they're telling us it can be done. Yeah, if I manage to come all this far, if I manage to come all this far in this political game, and I'm still here and I'm still struggling, no matter how hard it is, no matter how it seems it's not bearing any fruit compared to how Martha Karua outcome was in the 2022 general elections, you understand? But she's still there. She's still there to encourage people that, one, you're going to fail. You're not just going to come in and have your way through the way you feel. You feel like, you know, I can lead. You know, you're very energized, fresh with ideas, very smart, and you're like, you are going to make it through. Yeah, you're going to fail sometimes, but you don't get out of the game. It will take you some time to maybe come up with, the elective position that you want to vie for, but you have to just stick in the game, no matter how it toughens up, no matter how many times you fail, just stick in the game, because the more we stick in the game, the more we encourage the women, and the more we come up so many, we team up so many, and then one day, who knows, maybe I might become the first president.
You never know.
Yeah, we never know. You never know. It's that. It's just that we are still very far away from it, but despite that, we are not backing out. We are not saying, still we're very far, we're not going to give up. We're going to push. We're going to push ourselves. And it does not have to be Florence. There's another woman who can do it better.
Yeah.
So if you see another woman who can do it better, and you have the resources, you have the networks and the connections to propel their dream to carry other women. Maybe my dream can only carry 5. But you see another woman with a very good vision that can carry 20.
Yeah.
Why don't we team up as women and support that one woman? You understand? And right now, it's not about women. It's also about, are you competent for leadership? You understand? We cannot just vote you in because you're a woman. No, that is not. We cannot vote you in because you're a youth. That is not a reason enough for us to vote you in. Tell us, we need competency. The heaven that we want to create in Africa will not come by just the virtue of gender or because we are youthful. It will come in because you are able to lead. And the kind of leadership now is even changing. It's not like the likes of Moi. Things have changed. Everything is actually, how can I put it, evolving. Even leadership is evolving.
It is.
Yes.
Comparing the current leadership to the previous leaderships, they're now facing a lot of scrutiny because people are, I want to say woke.
Yes, and it's not just people, they're young people. They're the young people who are actually noticing the changes right now. Like I said, nobody wants to go to us as a country that they feel unwelcomed, and people are friendly to them. They have their space in Africa and Kenya. You understand? So we want to stop all these things of corruption. The policies that that we always put on paper, we want them to be practical, so that we implement them to change the state of our nation, to change the state of our counties, to change the state of, everything about us just needs to change.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I can't agree more. And I also believe that women, there's that bias question that they're always asked: how are you going to balance family and politics and leadership? But the men are not being asked the same questions, so it's just this question itself sort of brings the bar down for the women, because it's like, you won't be able to manage, you won't be able to handle all this together. But I believe women they have the gift of being.
No, there's nothing like we have the gift of being tough or managing anything. We're also human. We break down. And when it is tough, it is tough. It is hard when you factor in the family issues. It's actually very hard for the woman.
It is.
Because at the same time, when you're married, you're not the head in the house, because of going by the virtues by the societal virtues that we are brought up in. So you might be a political leader somewhere else, but when you go back in the house, you have to take care of your babies. You are a wife. At the end of the day. And being a wife comes up with a lot of responsibilities. We are not yet married, but we see it from our parents, our circles. So it is tough for the women. It's double, it is just so hard and it's challenging when it comes, so these societal norms, this, kind of things, that is what derails women away from leadership. They're like, I want a family, I want to have this, so I'll just step away from political leadership.
Because I want to, because I want to settle. It's like you have to choose between the two.
Yeah, and that's why most of the time in these forums, I always appreciate these women that have actually been successful in both, because it is not easy. It's not like that there's no gift like we were gifted in any way. We are just trying to be hard. It is tough. You understand? So a thumbs up to all the women outside there who have actually balanced through leadership and family. Because if you look at the history of most women leadership, it's either they're not doing well on their family, or one side is actually failing, and we cannot blame them. It's just that they had to choose a side, and they picked their dreams and careers, which is okay.
Yeah. It's
and most young people right now, they're saying, of course, we understand, we appreciate the family values, we appreciate families, but at the end of the day, my dream is bigger than just a family. My dream is bigger than just getting married and settling down. Yes, understand?
People are not chasing their purpose, because if your purpose is in leadership, you want to make a difference.
Yeah, so
then people can limit
exactly.
you.
So as women, we cannot live less of our potential because we want to settle down in families.
Absolutely.
It is good. It is beautiful. We advocate for it because family units are very important in the in our national, you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, we appreciate it, but let family not come in between making good leaders, not to propel their dreams of leading people and creating, the nice society that they want to live in.
Absolutely.
So, and also we need help sometimes as young women. Yeah, and that's why I normally say it calls for a collaborative effort. And especially, you understand when the Gen Z were coming in, yes, and sometimes they want to rubbish off the older people in politics, the experienced people. They're telling him, go home, don't, you understand that kind of narrative. And for me, I look at it like we need each other. We need the new perspectives from the young people, and we need the experienced leaders to come in so that they show us this is how it is done. They've been there. We give it for them, because without them, maybe, you understand. So they've been there, they've been leading to some extent. So we need to come up together, bring our ideas together, the new and the old ideas together, and come up with the best ideas out of it. So it calls for a collaborative effort. So this one, it's also, as much as it's also in the youth, it's also for older and new women in politics. Awesome. Come, tell us, have us those capacity building. Tell us, how did you manage to do politics and family? Let us take the points.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's profound. It's not, we shouldn't really say we are done with your regime, we're done with your reign.
We need
it's
each other.
Now a time.
Yeah, exactly.
So we need each other to make it work.
Yeah, like for me right now, I'm looking for a mentor. Like, yeah, I'm trying to, look at every leader up there and see whose values, whose ideology do I, resonate with. And I'm going to look for a young person to be my mentor. Okay. You definitely want somebody with experience who has made mistakes and like, I did this and it did not work. My dear, do this way. And I know there are very good women in the political scene that are ready to nurture young women in politics.
Yeah.
Yes, and that is the mindset that we want to have.
Absolutely.
As young women in this game.
And you've brought that aspect of mentorship. So even for the young women who aspire to get into political leadership, they should look for someone who will have their values aligned to theirs and have them mentor them.
Yes.
I don't know how easy it is to get to them.
Nothing is easy, but you just try.
Okay.
Nothing will happen. Just try. You just keep on trying and keep on trying, keep on knocking the doors. If you're really into leadership, if you're really into something and you want it, you don't stop. You'll go even 20 doors until you get that one door open for you.
And they usually say that it's as a weakness of women are usually fight from within, for some reason. And I'm borrowing this from the interview that I had mentioned earlier from last week. So they had formed a group for filmmakers to celebrate the women filmmakers,
All right.
And the founder really had a great vision, or still has a great vision, but there was fights from within. The founder had to leave the group. I don't know if the founder is back yet, but you see a lot of fights from within, even as women try to push and support other women. You'd still find that there are people, or there are instances where this fight, I don't think it's the same for men. As much as they disagree, I think they have a different way of disagreeing. I don't know what you have to say about that, your view on that.
I have a very different view, and every room that I get into, I try to shut that thought or that mind out of me.
Okay.
Because the moment you have that mind, any small or slight arguments, they're there. Men argue all the time. You can't disagree. But now when you have that mentality that women are the enemies of women, any slight disagreement, you just refer to that. So for me, I feel like it is not true. It is not true. It is a mindset that needs to be changed. It is not true. We can disagree. We can fight sometimes. It is okay. But it's not because you're a woman, or because I don't like you because you're a woman, or I don't agree with you because you're a woman. No. I think for me, that is a very backward mindset right now. We should not even be talking about it in this century, because we can disagree. People can leave the group people can, you know, disagreements
Things
are there.
happen.
Things happen. But for me, I'm here because I'm a living testimony, for lack of better terms, that women support each other.
Wow.
I've been supported by women. Actually, most of my supporters, most of my people who push me through are women.
Okay.
So I will always say I don't really understand that
You don't subscribe
that
to
statement.
it.
I don't get it. It's actually new to me, because for me, we should all be talking about women are the enemies of women right now. And the more we talk about it, the more even our male counterparts. Now, when you're playing the gender games, you understand, which I don't want to get into, they actually use those kind of things to divide us.
Okay.
Just imagine a nation of women, you know, women united. How it's going to look like.
Perfect. It's really going to, you know, to change the narrative, to
Yes.
to build women up.
And sometimes you just, you know, even for the International Women's Day celebration, you're in a room where they're just women talking talking economical development, talking about political leadership, talking about making their lives better. It's a room that you never want to leave. So I don't understand why people would say. So, you know, because some women, I think maybe it narrows down to an individual's character, because maybe it's something is not going well for you. You're very, you know, women, we are very quick to, you know, throw words here and there. You know, it's our weakness, so we accept it. But it does not have to go, you know, globally and say women are you know, we love each other and we are supporting each other, and that is the mindset that we have, and I'm pushing outside there. We love each other. It's a sisterhood thing. Women in politics.
I think I love that. Yeah. So
because if you're not united, we are not going anywhere.
True.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How are we going to change if us who are leaders are the ones talking about women are the enemies of women? Now, how are we going to the village, or rather to and telling them that, you know,
we need to support each other?
Yeah. Sometimes they don't even understand. You see, if you understand how the politics of the village works, they don't see even women as good leaders sometimes.
True.
Yeah. So if we are not united, there's no way we're going to pull those votes. They're still going to vote our male counterpart, because for them, they know that men are the best leaders, even from their houses. They're like, oh, my husband leads very well, so I'm going to vote in a man to lead the community. So if you're divided up here, how are you going to get the people down there to unite and vote us in?
But there's a problem again. You have spoken very well on that particular matter. So we need to shift that mindset and that perception. But again, looking at the situation in Meru, you know, Meru County, the governor, the current sitting governor, who's about to, you know, things are changing, and the deputy governor is going to be sworn in today morning. You know, so Karera Mwangaza has really faced a lot of problems.
Exactly, that's true.
She has been impeached so many times over. You know, sometimes I was like, if it were me, honestly, I don't know if I would have that that grit, that resilience. I don't know. So what is the problem? How do we get rid of such?
I will not say much. I will just say I'm really sorry for what she's going through.
It is unfortunate, because the people elected her.
It is unfortunate that she's going through that. But at the end of the day, we have the reality in politics. So it is just politics.
It is politics.
So I cannot comment more about it. For me, as a woman, I just say I wish her well, and I know the battles will propel her to even better, you know, level of leadership. Because sometimes if you look at the leaders that we have right now, the women trailblazers, they went through a lot of things for them to be elevated to a certain level. Exactly. So she has to pass through all those challenges, and where she didn't do well, she'll actually become a better leader. You understand? So I'm looking at the challenges and the problems she's going through, and I'm like, maybe they're going to, you know, make her become a good leader. So, you know, in leadership, we have two aspects as well. We have those who are naturally leaders, and we have people who have been given a chance to lead. For instance, you've been nominated, you've never been a leader before, and you learn in between through your challenges. So some women are given the chance, and you're like, I've never been a leader before, but someone trusted you with an opportunity. So you're going to lead, not because you're naturally a leader, but because you've been put into a space, you've been mentored, And then you might even surprise yourself, like, oh, so I can make a good leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is politics. Another day, at the end of the day, there's the politics in the ground.
In the ground.
So
Politics is really, it's not easy.
yes, it is
So
not
we
easy.
see,
It
we
is
see
not
the
easy.
reality of how things actually
Yes,
are.
yes,
But I
yes.
think people have really learned a resilience from her.
Exactly.
Yeah, for the people that really have looked up to her,
Yeah.
they've gotten that. For sure, I
Yes.
have, because I don't know how I can do that.
Yeah.
So let me ask, for the women who are not really looking into getting into the limelight, you know, I may not want to be a governor, but I want to still be part of the leadership. I still want to be part of politics, to make a change from within, you know, something of that sort, to influence the policies and to do all that. The same way for media. Not everyone can sit here and do this, but there are people who make this happen, right?
Of course.
So how would you advise them to get into these spaces?
That is women who don't want to be in the limelight, like go for direct positions, but they want to be in politics.
Yeah.
So one is these are okay. There was a PDF event recently, and organized by CMD, and most of the young, it was specifically talking to young people, and it was telling young people to join the political parties, join the political parties. So also tell the young women, join political parties.
Okay.
You understand? You are maybe through these political parties, you can actually influence certain things because they have programs where they put women together from even different political parties, and you come with ideas. You can come up with different papers. You can come up with different policy, draft different policies. They create capacity building programs for you, and day by day you get to know a few things that goes in governance, and that is how you can how to voice your your ideas, and it's a space for you to grow in politics.
Okay, so by them getting into political parties, are this existing political parties?
Yes, of course. Unless you want to start your own party, which the young people tried, and we're just hoping that we also get another another roof that will speak for Gen Zs in the manner that they want.
Yeah.
Yes, we're praying for all the young people. Yeah, so of course the existing political, how many political parties do we have in the country? There are so 98, 99, around to 100 political parties. So look at the political parties, that one that resonates with your ideologies and your values, like I say, get into it. It will not be a walk in the park because there are also people in that political party. So you have to fight your way up.
Again,
exactly.
Still
yes. So I think that is just one of them, and just being a very active citizen. A very active citizen means you know what's going on in the country. You know there are bills that are being passed. There are these participating in the public participation forums.
Yeah.
You know, just anything going on in the in politics. Just have information, because information right now is free and it is everywhere. You wake up in the morning, instead of going to Nairobi gossip, check something. Get informed. Something is happening. And if you look at our male counterparts, they're very good with that, because you get a group of boda in the streets, looking at the newspaper and knowing what's going on. Yeah. So as women, you can also do that.
Get into that.
Get into
it's
that.
a culture that men have.
Yeah.
So we also
yes
need to border that.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
As we come to a close on this conversation, what advice would you give to the young women leaders, hopefuls, that want to get into political leadership, but they fear the challenges that come with it?
Wow. I'll say that nothing is easy. Even our personal dreams and goals are never easy. And there are challenges everywhere. But if we want to have a female president one day, if we want to achieve the 2/3 gender rule, it will not be achieved if we don't step into leadership. No matter how tough, no matter how hard, no matter how insulting it can be sometimes, we don't have an option. We have to go for it. So as a young person outside there, you have to do it. It's either we do it or it will not be done. Who are you waiting for? Who are you waiting to lead you if you're not stepping up?
Okay.
Yeah, we are not waiting for anybody. If you know you can lead, step in. People will support you. People will identify with your ideas and support you. So as a young person, go for it. Challenges are there. We'll maneuver through. There'll be a stepping stone to another level, to elevate us to a certain level.
Okay.
So as a young person, go for it.
Okay.
Just do it.
So you just need to have the passion
Yes,
for it.
just go for it. Do for it, and let us not be scared of making mistakes. You know, of feeling. Sometimes you're afraid, but just go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, we are going to learn through the way.
Do it anyway.
Do it anyway. Yeah.
Usually say start
We're not
now.
waiting for anyone. Exactly. Who are we waiting for? Who are you waiting for?
Yeah. So it starts with us.
Yeah, it starts with us.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you very much, Florence, for this amazing discussion.
Cool.
About women in politics, young women in politics. Yeah. I don't know if you have any last words to say. If yes, you can say it through this camera, or you can just give us your social media handles.
Of course, I always have words to say.
Great. Go ahead.
Yeah. Young women outside there, young people, the time is now, and we have to make it count. The narrative, the discussions about Gen Zs right now has given us an opportunity to step forward. At least the elderly people are listening, and they actually know that there are some things that they're not going to do without the young people. So there's a need for young people to step up and take up the leadership positions. So young people, young women, we are outside there, who are outside there and want to step into the political leadership scene. The time is now. So we are stepping up now.
We are stepping
step up right now.
All right.
Yes.
Great. What are your social handles?
My social media handles are at, on Twitter, Flora_Onyango. On Facebook is Florence Onyango. On LinkedIn is Florence Onyango. And yeah.
Great.
That's where you can find me.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you very much once again. We hope to have you some other time for another discussion. So we have been talking about women in politics, young women in politics, and we've had Florence Onyango for that. She is a youth and women's rights advocate, also the founder of Girl Gal and Boy Africa, that is GGB Africa. I hope you have taken something from this particular discussion. You have been, you feel more empowered if you wanted to, you know, take up a role in women leadership. And if you're a man, I hope you've also been inspired to push the young women around you, because we are all in this together. Now we're going to take a short break, and then Brian Sakwa will be coming up with the next interesting conversation. Stay with us.